All right, so scrimmage one. Tough day, tough day, tough couple days. Yesterday was a true old-fashioned Derby day. Just hot, and the guys had to really push through. It was a double day for us. Came back last night, and then right back in here early this morning. So this is a tough little stretch for them mentally, but that's all part of them, growing and developing and maturing. The type of mental toughness that you got to have to go with the physical toughness. And but a lot of good work today. Pretty much all good on good all day. Got a lot of special teams mixed in as well. So this is our first preseason game, if you will. We get two basically today, and then we'll go again next Thursday as a true preseason game. Like, let's go play football. So we've had some. We didn't get into pads until Wednesday. We had a little bit of live, but this was the first day where it's all live. So, there was some good and some bad, like there always is. It's never as good as you think it is, never as bad as you think it is on this first day. But a lot of things to be encouraged by, some individual guys, but still a long way to go. We got a lot of work to do. We got 3 weeks until we play on this very day. So, not anywhere what we need to be, but this is just the next step for us in our preparation process of going to play. Now let's go study the film and see how we can get better from it.
You said you had a lot of guys individually did some things. Can you mention who some of those guys were?
Well, it's both sides. I mean, we had a bunch of guys on both sides that flashed. I thought we did some good stuff with some of the guys that you think, and then there was a couple guys that I thought made some mistakes, defensively in particular, that mistakes they shouldn't make. A couple busts. We had a big missed tackle in the open field, led to a big play. But there was good on both sides from lots of guys. Did have a couple takeaways. Khalil had a takeaway. Ricardo had one. It's good to see that. A couple sacks, but just overall defensive, I just thought we were too undisciplined. Too many penalties, too often offsides. Against a different game when you're not scripting things and you're really just playing in the rhythm of a series, and then you got ACC officials and true game feel, and it's every play's live. So just a little undisciplined, I thought, from a penalty standpoint, and type of penalties that get you beat, jumping off sides and stuff like that. But offensively, a lot of good things. I mean, I thought all of our backs ran well, and I thought our OL, if I had to just say who won the day, I'd say the OL won the day. I'm really pleased with how they've performed to this point, and then I was anxious to see them go today, and I thought they came right out, open drive, touchdown drive, and I thought Cade had an outstanding day. He's had a really good camp, and today was really good. CV's had a really good camp, and he did some really good things today as well. And Trent, same thing. He missed a few plays that he wants to have back, but he always responds too. So we're doing a good job there. Our receivers, a bunch of guys flashed there. Same thing at tight end. So I saw us finish on some plays that we need to finish on. There was a couple others that you'd like to see us make. But again, some good, some bad. Same thing in the kicking game. Some things we got to clean up, but we got all phases worked and got a lot of work built into that just naturally happened within the scrimmage. And then we got some just true, created a couple special team situations that we needed to work on as well.
Does it feel like this offense has taken some important steps over the last few days?
Well, they're older. They're more mature. It's called football. It's development. You got Tristan Lee is a fourth year player now. He's a second-year starter. If you're made of the right stuff and you have pride in your performance, you get better. We're so quick to judge young players, and Walker Parks is back. Marcus Tate is a fourth-year senior. He's not a freshman. Blake Miller is a third-year starter. So we're just deeper. Trent Howard is a fifth-year senior that has started for us. Harris Sewell is not a true freshman anymore. He's played a whole year. He started some games. Colin Sadler is, a starter for us. I mean, we've got just more guys that have played a lot of football. And so you should be better. I mean, it's not a surprise. Just like it's not a surprise sometimes when you have some young guys that you having to count on that maybe have to go through a few growing pains. Maffa has been really good. I'm really pleased with the tight ends. Those guys, especially we've kind of limited Brenny this week, working him back in. He should be ready to go Monday, but it's been good for those other guys. To see those other guys step up. I'm really proud of all the receivers. We've got a lot of competition there. That's making everybody better. It's been a lot of fun to see that. But they're just, and then year two with Coach Riley, all you can go on is practice. I mean, they're just we got more experienced guys, and we're playing with a little bit more identity, a little bit more consistency than we were this time last year. So we still aren't, they're not going. We're not the Dallas Cowboys or anything just yet, but we're certainly better at this point than we were, last year from just a consistency standpoint.
Coach, do you feel like Cole Turner has gotten back to where he was physically since before the injury, and is he maybe even better as a player now?
Oh man, yeah, same thing. He's on his third year. He hasn't been able to play. He played at the end of the freshman year. He went into the season as a starter last year, and he played a game and a quarter or whatever it was. He's out for the year, and so he's he definitely makes us different. And he's another guy that had a good first 3 days, and then he had got a little banged up, and we just got him back today. We just kind of limited him today, but just being smart with him. But there's no question. I mean, he's into his third year. He's a redshirt sophomore. Technically, he could be a redshirt freshman because he could get the year back from last year if he wanted to. But he brings a lot. He's a really fast dude, and plays with a lot of confidence and good ball skills. So it's a deep group. It's a deep group. We got a lot of options at that position.
As you said, the backs played well, I guess, but beyond Maffa, who's the...
Yeah, they're all doing their thing, man. Jarvis is still out right now. He's going to be on kind of that day-to-day mode with him. But all those guys. Keith had a big, huge touchdown run today. Broke a tackle in the open field. And, he kind of does what he does. I mean, he's a big, strong, physical kid, and then he's just kind of different than all those other guys. And then Jay and Easy E, man, they've made big strides. So it's a lot of fun. It's a fun group. It's a good situation. Hopefully, if the good Lord will bless us and we keep Maffa healthy, we have a good situation to be able to really develop those guys into what we think they can be. But they'll add a lot to us. And again, it's a group. I mean, it's not like one guy is just, they're all really doing their thing right now. They're making mistakes too, but I like what I see from those three guys that are getting those reps. So it's turning into a pretty good little group.
Big day for the freshmen. What'd you see out of the freshman class today? It's a big event for them today.
Yeah, it's the first time for these guys that just got in here. Obviously, we had a bunch. Most of these guys were here in January, so they got a lot of scrimmages. They got a spring game, So just a few guys like Ashton Hampton, TJ Mayo, CJ Cooper Taylor, I think was maybe the other one. So it was like four guys or so, and a few preferred walk-on guys that came in that got their first scrimmage. But most of the other guys, they've already had a spring game, got exposed to it. But it's good to see those guys get out there, and I guess a couple of them got exposed pretty easily. My big Mayo, he's going to be a good one, but he got to cover when he's got a peel call. He's got to cover the back. He gave up about a 40-yard play today. But, he's just out there flying around. He's a big, good-looking kid, but you gotta have your eyes on your work, right? You gotta know the call, and you gotta know what you're doing, but that's what you go practice for. He's a guy that just got here, and he'll learn from that. So you got to know the call. You got to know what your assignment is to be able to get on the field.
Coach Christian told me a few weeks ago that Wesco actually beat Nate Wiggins in the Flying Tens, but he's gained 10 pounds of muscle. Have you seen him maintain that speed?
Yeah. He's been just, steady Eddie, man. I mean, he's just a very consistent guy. He doesn't carry himself like a freshman. He's a very mature young player. He's right there in the mix. We got a group of probably 6 guys that could start. They're kind of all 1A, and it's they all can start. 5 of them have started. Wesco obviously hasn't started; he just got here, but kind of got a group of 6 that are. I mean, any of those guys could start for us, and I think all of them. It's a deep group that it's very competitive, and then that 7th and 8th guy, how that's going to shake out. But Wesco, I mean, he's just a kid that's not too big for, and it's a really good situation to be able to roll some guys and not have any drop off, and really, just to be able to keep playing and not even have to worry about who's in the game in some of these cases. We got some good skill at that position. I'm proud of him. He had another good day today. He just makes plays, and he just keeps progressing. But yeah, he's a fast kid. Probably Cole's probably the fastest on the team, but they're probably right there together.
What do you see in the competition for a center?
Good battle. I mean, continues on. They're just stacking days. Really pleased with Linthicum and Harris. They're taking a ton of the reps, and then we're rolling Trent's working at guard and center. So we feel like we could go play with all 3 of those guys. And we really truly feel that. So that's a nice battle. It's kind of day to day, and they just got to keep stacking days, keep competing. But I'm not disappointed in them.
Any update on Jeadyn Lukus? I guess he was in Green.
Yeah, he's out right now, but we should get him back. Here pretty soon. He'll be day to day.
I guess did you come out of the scrimmage pretty healthy?
Got a couple guys got banged up. We just have to see what the trainers say. What the extent of a couple guys that got taken out of the scrimmage for whatever reason it was. So wouldn't want to speculate on any of that.
You haven't been with Coach Luke through a game yet, but a lot of practices and scrimmages. Just what are your impressions of his coaching style, his personality, anything else?
Well, he's great. I mean, he's smart. He's been a head coach. He understands my job very well. Yeah, and he's just, he's been around a lot. He's been great. He's got a veteran group, and those guys have really bought into what he's asking them to do. And, it's been really proud of him. He's done an awesome job. All those guys. I mean, we got 4 offensive line coaches now, so they know where to hide out there. It's a 1-to-1 ratio almost. So all those guys are doing a great job for us.
Kickers in the big stadium. Did you see out of them today?
Yeah, I mean, they continue to do some good things. Hoosier is right now just a little ahead statistically. They're kind of battling. They were right there, and then Hoosier just so we'll see where it is next. We're just kind of whoever's up after the day goes out there first. That's kind of where we are, but they're both competing really well and doing some good things. Really proud of Aiden. Man, Aiden he's just a cool customer. 6-year guy, just rolls out there and had a couple of nice big punts today. So it was really good. Our snappers do a great job. I mean, just really consistent guys. So we're doing some good things. We've got to do a little more work on the return game, kind of settle in there. We're putting a lot of guys out there to kind of see who we can trust. And you can be the best return guy in America, but we got to possess the ball. And that's easier said than done. That's where it starts. You give up a little return to make sure you possess the ball. And so I was a little disappointed with a couple of the guys that we put out there today.
How's Vic Burley doing from last week?
He's day to day. He had a good day yesterday. Wasn't quite ready to scrimmage today, but he's working his way back in there.
2 other defensive guys, Stephiylan and Cade, Solon Green. Stephiylan and Cade Denhoff.
Oh, Denhoff. Yeah, Denhoff's
Green.
fine.
Yeah.
Denhoff's fine. He's fine. And then Stephiylan,
Yep.
Same thing. Just not quite ready yet. Working his way back day to day.
Well, go ahead.
You mentioned Ricardo Jones had the turnover that he forced. And what have you seen from him?
He's a high energy football player. You hear him and you see him. He's just one of those big personalities that loves to play football. I mean, the kid loves ball. You can't break him. It don't matter how hot it is. It don't matter how many gassers you run. He's going to keep going. That's just his mindset. He's one of the more mentally tough kids we got that I've seen as a young guy come in here. I mean, he is a mentally tough young player that loves to play the game. He's incredibly physical, and he's smart. He's got good instincts. I've been really impressed with him.
I
think in the spring you said Kobe McCloud was kind of fighting for that. I guess you guys base personnel, one of the 3 linebacker positions. I guess how has he progressed this summer and in the preseason?
Yeah, Kobe. We trust Kobe. You know, Kobe's same thing. He's a 3rd-year player from where he started. I mean, he's very important to him. He's bigger, faster, stronger than he's ever been. He's in great shape. Takes care of his body. He's very knowledgeable. Can play Mike and Will if we need him to. But he's just a guy we trust. And so, you know, he's a special teams guy and going to be a guy that's going to be a valuable guy behind Barrett and Wade. You know, those guys they're way up here. And then we got that next group that are all battling to give us the depth that we need. And, you know, Kobe has solidified himself as a guy we can count on as far as being able to go in there and know what to do for us.
Time for 2 more questions.
You've been pretty high on Wade throughout this whole offseason, I guess. What have you seen from him, like from his recruitment up to now, that kind of instilled that confidence in him that you trust him to be that starting linebacker?
He just what we saw in high school. I mean, he's just a great football player. He's a big-time athlete. You know, played some safety as a freshman. He's not overwhelmed with the game. I mean, he's played quarterback. I mean, the guy he's just a football player. He's long. He's a big, strong kid. He's 235 pounds now, whatever he is, and just can really run. And he, you know, he's a guy that we signed to develop, and he's really developed because he's just who he is as a kid. He's a gym rat. Studies it all the time, and you know, we're athletic at that position. I mean, we're very athletic. So got a good group right there, and we got to get the guys behind them to close that gap a little bit, so we can, you know, have a good rotation.
I'm talking to some of the defensive guys yesterday, and they were saying Garo's throwing more motions, different formations and stuff like that, having a more experienced offense, and you guys been able to layer on more things and put more things.
We ain't doing anything different. Doing the same thing we've always done. We just do it better. They just think it's different. Ain't doing nothing different. They don't know what they're talking about. Same formation, same motions. You know, it ain't about plays, it's about players. Our players are just doing a better job. Guys we're a more experienced group. Quarterback's a better player. He's taking another step. All the guys up front have taken another step. We got more skill. So same plays, they just work better.
We have time for 1 more. Anybody has one?
Coach, a lot of this obviously about player improvement, but what is your personal self-talk and how do you try to tweak your coaching game, you know, having so much success over the years?
How do I tweak my coaching game? I don't really know. I'm not sure I understand the question. I mean, we just do what we do. I mean, we've had a lot of success. I mean, we've been incredibly consistent. You know, obviously 13 9+ win seasons, 12 of those 10+. And we've had a lot of consistency, but I mean, every year's different. You know, I mean, I guess tweak your coaching message is based on who you're coaching every year. I mean, it's different. You know, you got a 3rd-year Trevor Lawrence or a freshman CV. You know, so I mean, it's all based on. I think your job as a coach is to figure out where your team is and meet them where they are and try to bring them along. You know, some teams are further along than others, and you know, there's good and bad each and every year, but I just try to be consistent. You know, I try to be consistent with what the expectations are, you know, our core values, the way we practice, you know, how we do certain things, but then again, you know, you have to coach these. You can't coach them all the same. You've got to figure out how to coach each and every player and each and every team. So, you know, certain things never change, but some things do based on who that team is, who the personnel is, who the individual is, and where they are in their development process. I guess that, I don't know if that answered it or not.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Coach.
All right, thank you, Coach.
Okay. All right. Thank you, guys.